It's T1naBa1ley this day. Um, I just finished reading Blood Slaves by Marcus Raymond. It's pronounced Reedman, but yeah, I might be off a little bit on the enunciation. Um, okay, so what time is it? 1:35. I read this book over and over and over again when it came to chapter 36, from chapter 36 to 43, chapter 36 to chapter 43. I read those chapters over and over and over again. I read I read those chapters at least twice, but more than twice. Like some chapters I read three times again. Like chapter 43, I read about three or four times. Chapter 41 and 42 and 40, I reread about three or four times. Then okay, and to tell you how I did it, okay, it's so I went through them, read them. Then I read them backwards from 43 to 40, from 43 to 36. Reread those, reread them backwards. Then went back to chapter 41. Then reread chapter 43 and 42. Then went back and read chapter 39 and 38 and then 37 and then reread chapter 36. Why was I doing that? I was rereading these chapters front to back to for like four times. So all this morning, this was my Saturday morning, rereading or reading, then rereading these chapters. Now, I didn't take notes to tell you the specific, to tell you like the specific chapters of where where the question mark kind of popped up. I was like, a little bit. I think it might have been chapter 37. Yeah. Chapter 37. So after reading chapter 37, no. It was chapter 38. It was chapter 38. Because chapter 37, the POV changed. And then in chapter 38, the POV switched back. And that's when I was like, huh? I was like, what happened? But after reading it like three or four times, because I just kept reading it, I was like, am I missing something? Did I miss something? So after like the third or fourth time I done read these chapters, I I realized that like when the POV switched in chapter 37 and what that POV was and what that POV described, that's when things were still popping. Things were still popping. And they didn't they didn't like restart when we got the switch to the POV in chapter 38. They continued to keep going. So and then pick up where it continues. So that's what I just was like, huh, a little bit. But like I said, I kept reading, and then finally I was like, oh, so it must have happened during the description of chapter 37. Okay, so I don't know. And then I didn't get what James had did the first time he did it. I was like, how he did it? So I had to read that, and I finally got it like the fourth time I read the book, read the chapter. And so yeah, I it it was all a blur a little bit, like the first two times I read it. So I'm glad I reread it like the third and fourth time, because the fourth time it became clearer to me. I was like, okay, okay. Um, I don't know if I, I, I was a bit taken aback, like after chapter 36, and after I had that question mark, I was just like, I was a bit thrown out of the book. Like, the beginning of the book had me all emotional and crying, and then the end of the book, I guess I had chose sides. I guess I chose sides. I guess I was on I guess I was on Gertie's side. Um and I thought we was gonna get another POV from Gertie, but we didn't. That's why I'm like, that's why I was rereading the chapters. It felt like I was missing some stuff. It felt like some stuff was missing. I'm like, uh, what had happened? And then okay, Gertie, and then that it seemed like the part with Gertie didn't come back around. Like Gertie was developing, and it seemed like, but I guess she developed in her own way. Like, okay, so she developed in her own way. I guess that's what had happened. She chose to develop in her own way instead of she still kept her bearings about her, and I think I was on her side. If there was a side to be on, I think I was on her side. Cause I I I don't know if I got what was promised in this book. Like the author was like, if you like this, if you like that, you gonna like this book. And I don't know if I enjoyed the payoff. Like I don't know if that was enough for my tears. Like I was crying. My tears was popping out. And I don't know if I got the gift for my tears. I don't know if I got the what do you call it, the return on my tears. um, it's a good book. It's a good story. I'd recommend it. Perhaps I needed to um um break up my reading sessions. I attempted to like read the last 2 hours all in one sitting instead of breaking it up because I felt like the book had a different feeling reading it all in one go than it did breaking it up into little bites. No point intended. um like I was more subdued breaking it up into little reading sessions versus like the flow and the hype of it all when I read it in bigger reading sessions. Might be why I read it so many times though. From chapter 36 to 43. Well, actually, to the whole end of the book, like the epilogue, and because I read that all the way to the end of the book, like a few times as well. Then there's a book two coming out. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna need a book two. We're gonna need a book two because, sure, I mean, the end, okay, we need a book too, because we need to cross paths. And then, I don't know how they got out the house, honestly, to tell the truth. I don't know how they made it up out of there. But okay. That's why I was reading the chapters like 3 and 4 times, because I'm like, huh? 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 How they get up out of there? But okay, 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 okay. Really? I get, but they weren't. They weren't the. They weren't the. Um. Um. They weren't on the agenda, so to speak. So I guess, ain't nobody. Okay, and they made it. Oh, I mean, that's what I was like, huh? How they did it? But, ooh, okay, they did it. And then, but I can understand how they, why. I mean, how. I mean, it just wasn't all up in the details with that. Just like it wasn't like all up in the details with Gertie's next step that I can recall, because you got Gertie getting hyped, but then I don't know if I read Gertie's next step. Like, that's why I kept reading. I'm like, am I missing something? I mean, like, um, how do people say, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth my tears? Now, yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Like, dang, was it worth my tears, Lord? Like, where my gift for my tears? Where is my gift for my tears? Uh, and I guess, I guess can I be repaid for my tears? Like, can I? uh, uh, I, I, okay, so I saw a post, and the post was like, this is how they felt at the end of the book as Pop Off was popping. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that. And I'm guessing it's because I'm guessing it's because I'm on Gertie's side. I guess I don't know why else I wouldn't feel hype like that. I didn't feel that. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't. After reading the book, and hallelujah for choice. They did seem like they was playing into um, the hands of the haters with their decision. Um, oh, I need to stop my book app. I got my book app running. Okay. Um, it's well detailed. It is well. It's well detailed in what it's giving. It's very well detailed in what it's giving. The words depict the scenes. I could see this as a movie. I could see this book as a movie. There are some surprising elements, some new elements, so I did enjoy those. New elements, surprising elements, unknown elements, but beknownst to me about vampire lore, vampire lore. Uh, so yeah, how the scenes kind of were like from chapter 36 to chapter 43, how they were like they were almost like blurs themselves. They was all they had a blur about them. Yes, that's a good way to describe it. They had a blur about them. Like they were in their own blurs. Yes. Yes, that's the way to describe them there. Yes. Chapter 30, 36, chapter 36, chapter 38. Yes, it was like it would be there, and then it would show up in another in another spot. It would show up in another scene. It would it was right there, but in a flash, in a blur, it was over there. And what other chapter did that? Okay, 37 did that, 38 did that. Um Probably 38, 39, 40. Yeah, all them chapters had like blurs in them. Like cuz I'm like, huh? Like it didn't. Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to explain it, cuz it was fast paced, and it was here, and then you, things happen, and then it's there. It's over there now, and it was over here. They were over here. Now they over there now, and then you get background noise, so to speak. So that's cool too. Like it's stuff happening in the background that's not in the foreground, but it's mentioned in the foreground. So it's like, oh, okay, so wow, so you, so why the foreground is happening now? What's happening in the background is like a whole nother scene that can't be seen because we're not in that scene. We over here. So what's going on over there, we can only hear. And the book does that. So this, yeah, it could be a movie. It could be a movie. Like all of them scenes, boom, 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 boom. Those could be movie scenes. Like boom, boom, like storyboards. Yeah. Uh, so I read a book about. I read a book that had vampires in it. It's called Blood Slaves. Um, would I have read this book had it not had vampires in it? Probably not. Because of the subject matter. Because of the reasons that I cried due to the subject matter. Why did I read this book? Because it had vampires in it. Did I have to read those subject matters to get to the vampires? Uh, uh, Because I'm reading the book, I'm like, it took tears from me. This book took tears from me. Where is my gift? Like it's like it ain't enough. It took tears. But yeah, it just depends. I guess it just depends on what side you take. What side you take in the book. There's a side to be made. And I think that's it. I think that's what happened with me. I think it depends on the side you take as to how you feel about it. I think I think so. It's like team this or team that. And if you team this, then you still feel like you can see it. You understand it. Do that. You accept it, but you keep uh your stance in humanity. And I think if you do that, it's not going. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't know. I think that's what's going on. But if you choose, if, if you choose the blood, I think it's gonna pop off for you, and you gon' you gonna be excited. You're gonna be hyped. I think that's. I think that's. I think those are the experiences that are being had. At least that was for me. I think I experienced Teen Gertie. I read it because I think I saw somebody experience Teen Blood. That's what I think. So I was like, okay. But when I was reading it, I experienced Teen Gertie. So yeah, I think this is a like a personal, individual type of experience, but which is for every book, right? So yeah, I mean, it got all the elements, it cover all the bases and everything, and I might read book two because we gotta cross paths with do because it done been said already. Um, that they already monstrous without the blood. So I'm thinking that's gonna blur around again. Um, let's see. It was something else. It was something else. Book two will be out August 25th. Um, oh yeah, and the author already has said that book two picks up a month after book one. A month passed after book one. So okay, yeah. So August was mentioned in this book. So this is a good August read. Anyway, like if you read books like that match the theme of the months and such like that. This book does mention the month of August. I even had a different perspective than the book offered, like a different theory or a different solution. Uh, that was presented in the book that was touched on. It was mentioned though. It was mentioned. So maybe that theory will show up more in book two. My theory that I had, or my epiphany, or my suggestion of choice when everybody was coming up with solutions. Maybe what I was thinking about is gonna be showing up in book two because of how this book ended. Dun dun dun. Oh, and this book mentions another book. At the end, when the author, I think it's about the author, or the epilogue, or author's note. It's somewhere at the end of the book. Might be author's note. I don't know if it's titled author's notes, but it's somewhere at the end of the book. Wait, is it thanks, acknowledgments? Might be thanks or acknowledgments. Somewhere around up there in the end of the book, there, the author mentions another author and in a book. So he was saying, "Hey, this author da da da, she wrote this. You might want to check it out. You might want to read it. D D D." I'm like, okay. So I went and put it on my wish list because I had asked you guys the previous live stream. I was like, what do I read next after this? Because this book is popping. This book, it was smelling sauce. It was smelling sauce for me. It was after reading Bones at the Crossroads. So I was like, okay. So after reading this book, I have another book. It's called and the author's name is Shaini. And her last name starts with the A. It might be A Abastara, something like that. Sheeny, Sheeny. Yeah. The title of the book is The Monster of Mine, or That Monster of Mine. Yeah, That Monster of Mine. I think that's the title of it. So yes, I have put it. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So I put it on my wish list. So that'll be my next read after this. Maybe I did say I was gonna read Onyx Storm. I like books that mention other books. I do have a book club based on books that, or books in a book, books that are recommended inside of another book, and those books that recommend other books. I have a book club for that. So if you'd like to join it, when you'd like to join it, go ahead and join it and join in on the fun. So yeah, this will be that book. That Monster of Mine will be that book, and this will be that book. So it's the book that suggests a book within the, yeah, and then the book that's in the book. So it's this book and the other book. Oh, so I got my next read. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna read it today. I'm gonna look and see. I'm gonna look and see. Uh, if I'm gonna read that book today or not. Um, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check. See how long it is. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll read it anyway. I don't even know how long Onyx Storm is, or uh, Golden Sun. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna read that book because I'm like, this is a good book. What can I read after this? Like, like basically, like what can top this? Um, like Bones at the Crossroad. When I was reading Bones at the Crossroad, I was like, oh boy, what am I gonna read now? Like, I kind of was feeling like, oh, like I was feeling sad, and then I heard about Blood Slaves, and then I was like, okay, I'll read that. It was like smelling salts for me. And now I'm like, what am I gonna read after this? This is a good book. What am I gonna read next? And so yeah, the answer to that is That Monster of Mine. I'm gonna read it and see. First I'm gonna read the thingy to see the what is called, the detail, the description. I don't know if I want to go in on it willy nilly. I don't know. I might. I was thinking about it, just reading it. Since the author did suggest it. But yeah, I do have my other books that are on standby. The what's it called? Jurassic Park. I got that on standby. The Girl with All the Gifts is gonna be a reread for me. Um, and it, I might reread it. So those are all of my reads, updates. Oh boy, this is so fun. And I was crocheting on my how to top, and I had mentioned it in a previous live stream. And then after I mentioned it and I went and crocheted on it, I started second guessing myself. about crocheting it up since I am using a different yarn, thicker yarn, like quote unquote the wrong yarn. I've been hesitant on saying that. So yeah, I just was like second guessing myself, like, um, crocheting this up. Um, so that's where I'm at with that. I even contemplating taking it out, frogging it, and turning it into a pillow or um, what are those things called? A crop top, like a sweater crop top. But then I had a thought like, well, what if I left it as a halter top and then made a crop top sweater to go on top of the crop top like that? That's something. So yeah, those are all my updates. I even had some inspiring ideas on utilizing the quote unquote correct yarn and maybe like making a Sally, what is it called? A Sally doll? The Sally rag doll inspired halter top. Somebody showed that they had the record. They have the Nightmare Before Christmas records. It's a two. It's a two record set. It come with two records. Theirs did, and their records like move, like dance around, like when they put it on the record player, and they play the music and it spin, like it's like pictures that like have the illusion of movement and such, and it's like the whole soundtrack to the Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I thought that was cool. So yeah, perhaps that'll be my next or my third halter top is a Sally inspired, a Sally Ragdoll inspired halter top. I was thinking about listening to the Sally song. Wow, listening to that Sally song on the record, like that's something. Like I like Sally's singing. I don't know if I've listened to it. I know I have had to, but just like intentionally like turn that song on and have it playing and listen to it, I think it's like a different feeling from. It's like a bigger feeling. Like it's like that feeling in reverb, like it's bigger. I would think. That's how I feel about it. Cause I already like the song. And then you gotta do the movements, or like move around like a rag doll. Yeah. So that's all the update. That was my Saturday morning. Once again, shout out to the narrators that are making these auto recorded books possible. Thank you for reading to us. Ah, thank you. Thank you very much. Off topic. Um, I was watching a watch along of the Leprechaun, and the actor that played the Leprechaun, he was doing a good job. He did a good job on that movie. I know I done seen that movie so many times, but this this last time I was watching it with a watch along, I just really was admiring his showmanship and all that he was giving in his performance. Yes, all that he gave in his performance. I like, thank you. Like, kudos, congratulations. Thank you for giving what you gave in that movie. Like, and then I started thinking, like, does he go to like event conventions? Does he go to the conventions and such? Cause he has the same amount of catalog. He has a big catalog. Like um, Jason and Freddie and Michael. Like he up there with them. Like his catalog long. I don't know exactly how many he got. I did my best to watch as many as I could. I don't think I watched all of them, but I did my best to. Um, Cause one year I did a marathon of his movies for like St. Patrick's Day, I think it was. But that's been like a couple of years ago now. But yeah, I just was wondering if he did any events like that, like signing events. Like I've seen Robert Ingram and Kane Connor and David um, do signings, and the first Jason. I've seen all the Jasons do signings. So yeah, I was just wondering if he did signings too.